Can you guys help me confirm if OJ is still in the room?
No, he left, sir. Probably will just rejoin.
Yeah,
Okay, it's
yeah,
back.
I'm back. I'm back. Yeah, so yes, I've spent the large part of my life building digital products, right? Building actually, and I owe a part of that to Dr. Steven, who inspired a lot of us. I mean, a lot of us into building entrepreneurship, trying our hands at building stuff, learning skills that can take us or can help us build a lot of things and achieve our dreams. Right? Dream wide, achieve it. And yeah. So about the topic of today, right? The topic is about getting digital skills or tech skills, right? There are a lot of tech skills from both core technical skills to non-core technical skills, right? But are very relevant in tech. I would like to know some sort of background about everybody here. Do we do intros or do we just skip right into it? Dr. Steven, Joseph,
So,
since it's
so,
not a large, yeah, it's not a
um,
large.
I think there are about 30% in the room. So just let me give you like a summary of background. We have some guys here who are like their trainers. We also have right here persons who are practically beginners. So if you are looking for like people like you, not yet, right? Except for the people who are training them, and I have here Praise, and I think you and Praise should meet later on. I also have Osubu here, Manuel Osubu, who is also the co-founder of Quanta. I think I will have to connect you guys later on. But apart from that, I have here also Boyle. Boyle is like the communication lead for Quanta. I'm not sure if Kelvin and Goodness is there. I also have here Davis. But apart from that, tech-wise, every other person here, they are members of our community who, of course, would like to hear what you have to share. Oh, Goodness is here. Cool.
Yeah. Hello, goodness. Hello, everyone. All right. So just to also ask, right? So everyone here is pretty much just trying to pick up tech skills, correct?
Exactly.
All right. Are people split into like different categories? Is it all technical? Is it technical and also non-technical? But in
Both.
tech,
Both. Yeah.
both. Okay. All right. All right. Awesome. I think makes it easier. Yeah. So yeah. So there are a lot of skills out there. I think one of the major things. I mean, I'll speak from my point of view. One of the major things that helped me was one. I mean, one was gaining interest because I picked up interest in tech pretty early, and I started building out stuff. But I've noticed, I mean, not just noticed, I've worked with a lot of people who did not have core technical skills, but also still broken by, will I say, pure doggedness, work, exposing yourself to a lot of content in this space and quality content, not just content, because there's a lot of content. Um, Being around where, will I say, things are being discussed, right? Also, things are being built because there's nothing better than building or building or actively being in the field because you may not be building, but you may be one managing what is being built, which is also a huge responsibility, right? A lot of people downplay it. It is not. I think it's even more important because I mean I won't say more important. It's as important because a lot of people build and after that it goes downward, right? But growth is a huge part of it. Managing um, customers is a huge part of it. Incremental updates is a huge part of it, right? Users churn, and all of these people ensure you have users, you acquire users, and those users don't churn. And that is equally as important as the thing being built because you can have the thing and then no users, or you can have, let's say, users and also nothing for the users to do and they go either way, right? Or no product to work with or nothing. Yeah. So it's going to be a very short one. I think I like more Q&As and less speaking broadly. Um, but yeah, I think
Obviously.
that's it from
Okay, so
yeah.
at this point, I think it would be good for you guys to ask OJ some questions. So while you guys are doing that, OJ, I would like to push you to share a bit of your story, um, like from from when you started till now, becoming the head of engineering for PiggyVest. Just to share your story and that. particularly for those who are about to start the computing through from there. While
Okay.
Oji, I'd like you guys to just maybe begin to put your questions together.
Okay. Yeah, so my story is a pretty, I won't say interesting one, but it's a pretty long one. I started building software, I think in secondary school, right? But it was just, I won't say basic stuff, but it was like basic stuff. The teacher of my school, whom his father happened to own the school, right? He came into the school, automated some processes we had in school, and okay, goodness, yeah. Should I say my story or answer questions? Which should I do first?
Conclude your story, then you begin to answer the questions.
Okay, all right. Um, yeah, so he came in and then he automated a lot of processes in school, and I became fascinated, right? That you could use software to cut out a lot of manual work that we used to do, right? We used to write tests, and when we write tests, we had to collate, all teachers had to collate the result in a huge spreadsheet, right? And then there are bound to be errors. There were also a lot of moving parts, and it took a while to collate those results. And then he came in and automated the process, and were able to do it in a day or two. And that sparked something in my head, and then I had to go and learn how he did it. And we're a bit close, so I picked it up, went home, locked myself in my room when I go on holidays, and tried to also replicate. So that's how it started for me. After school, I did another iteration of that after secondary school, of locking myself in my room and trying to build stuff. And then I took, yeah, and then that went well. And I did, I think New Horizons also. I went there. It was stressful because I had to go from all the way from Quanta to Ikeja, right, for that every day. So that was a bit stressful. But I did it for a period for a while. I think a couple of months. In that gap between secondary and uni, it paid off. Less about, I think it's less about what was being taught, more about the people I met, because some of them we still talk to today. I met one of them. He came into Lagos from Canada a few days ago, a few months ago, I think 2 months ago. Right. We met, made friends, we learned together, and we built stuff. I got into school, 100 level, very ambitious, and I tried out a full project on my own, which I was trying to build, just building stuff. Then anything I could build, I could set my hands to build, I was building. I did that. I think the second one was when I met Dr. Steven here, who was incubating startups at the time. So I and my friend Godwin, because I had a group of friends who just used to build stuff. Right, we're working on something around food, right, where you can order your food. But I mean, soon when we met Dr. Steven, we're working on that, but we switched ideas, right? Because at the time there was a program, an entrepreneurship program for people to come and pitch their ideas, right? So we switched from that to Atenoda, which is something Dr. Steven was very passionate about.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's something like TaskRabbit. Yeah, so we're trying to like a mini TaskRabbit. So we built that. We spent a while building that. Gave up a couple of holidays in building, and we pitched. We tried it out, and I think one of a part of building that people don't talk about the most is knowing when to drop it, right, and move on, right, or to know that it's not going to work, or to test fast and move on to the next thing. A lot of people hold on, and then it's tricky because there's no one can objectively tell you, oh, it is the right time to drop it, or it is the right time to be dogged, right? Because doggedness also pays out. There are situations you see people who are super dogged. There are a lot of companies, Netflix, etc., right, that were dogged for years and then it paid off, right? But no one can tell you if you go like Netflix, it's going to pay off. Or if you don't, and you go like the other ones that flipped ideas, like maybe Facebook, right? That flipped ideas immediately, so it wasn't working. That was going to pay off, right? But yeah, at the time we flipped ideas. While we were there building that, I met a friend of mine from secondary school. He was 1 year above me in secondary school, but he was looking for someone to build something, right? So we're just sitting down. I heard his voice and I shouted his name. Like I didn't even know he was there because he wasn't in my school, right? And he was like, Oji, what are you doing here? And I'm like, we're building. And he's like, oh, he's looking for someone to build something. And I was like, oh, sure. I mean, let's hear it out. And then we met, and then we started building something, which would be my second, well, let's say, adventure. In the middle of all of this, I was just building a lot of random things, right? Some of which I don't have access to anymore, some which I do, right? So he said, let's build. And then we started out, we got a design person, we put together some money, we started building. What happened to be let's say my second startup, right? Or my first, whichever one, right? We built, we went live. No, while we're building, we got an investor, an accelerator, right? I think they gave us about $15,000 then, and that was a lot of money, right, to build. And they also connected us to YC. So apparently, we're the first company to pitch to YC in Nigeria, right? We pitched to YC behind closed doors before Paystack pitched to YC at the PitchVest, and got in here. So we pitched. It was a nice idea. We're having conversations, and yeah, we're acquiring users. We even signed up people. We had like this. So it was a social network for football, right? So the goal of the social network was to take the noise on football off Twitter to this new place where people can talk about football, and there'll be more footballish things there. We built it out. We're acquiring users. Champions League matches. We're Johnny Rockets acquiring users, and then one day, an engineer of mine just called me. I can't forget where I was. Ikeja on that bridge. I came down from Ikeke, and I got a phone call, and he said he just mistakenly dropped the database. Yeah, so that was the end of the startup.
Like what?
So, yeah, so that's how that died. Till today, I mean, a lot of, I mean, the investors. So that's how we didn't get into YC, right? But even while then, before all of that happened, went to Dubai. My co-founder was in Dubai. I was in school, right? So we hired an engineer, right? So the engineer was outside school, so he had more, let's say, time on his hands, right? So he was the one actively doing a lot of day-to-day stuff, but he runs it by me, and I approve or not. So yeah, that happened, and it was devastating, right? My co-founder now currently runs TribePay, if you know him, Bolu. Yeah, he was the one. Yeah, so while I was doing that also, and because then when I started, I was on IT, and I was doing that, I started building something else with somebody also. Ayo Akinola, who is a co-founder of PiggyVest, right? So we're building out card loyalty. It was customer loyalty, but like with the card. So you could go into a store with your customer loyalty card, and then they give you, when you purchase stuff, you get points on the card, and you redeem it at maybe another branch or the same branch and get free stuff based on the points and how loyal you are as a customer. So we built that out. We're selling it. It was growing steadily, but we're getting churn. And we identified why we're getting churn, right? A lot of people, the person, let's say you're a business owner, you're making 200K. Someone comes to pitch you a software, and the software is customer loyalty. It means you want to grow your 200K to 250 or 300K month on month, right? And then you get the software. The person at the till, we train the person on how to use it. But this person needs to punch in their sale in the point of sale, not like the POS device, but like the one where that prints out your receipt of the things you bought, right? And then after that, now punch the same thing into our software so the person can get points on their card, right? And then voila, this other person gets rewarded. But they were not doing it because it was double work. Why are you giving them double work? And we found that out, and then we said, okay, let's build a software that has both point of sale and customer loyalty. So they just do it once, and the person automatically has their points, right? They ask the customer for their phone number, we ditch cards, and they get points. And then when they come, if they just give you their phone number, you see how many points they have, you see what they can redeem, and they redeem it. We build that out. We're growing pretty well, right? But we found a blocker again. People who we closed them if we met the owner. If you meet the manager, you never close the deal because the owner feels the manager wants to scam them, right? Because that's like a thing. Apparently, we didn't know that there was a lot of fraud in the retail market, right? Shop retail, not customer retail. Yeah, so the managers steal from the owners, right? So the owners don't trust anything the manager says. So if the manager tells them they need the software, the owner is going to ask their friend as the owner of another business what software they use and get that one, not the one the manager sees, right? Because they think the manager could have colluded with you to steal from them. So if we met the owner, we closed. If we didn't meet the owner, we didn't close. So if we identified there was something that we couldn't scale, right? Scale in terms of user acquisition at the time. Only sometimes referrals work because their friend has asked them, well, what do you use? And they say they use our software. So we set up for those people. So our subscription business there, month on month, was good. Was okay to run the company, right? We had some other partnerships we did with one, I think, Baxi, Capricorn Digital. They're now acquired by MFN Limited. Yeah, we did partnership with them to help them carry out, take this solution also to their agents, right? So they could convert their agents into businesses too, and businesses into agents, right? We built that out. They never paid us. They never completely paid us. They still owe us some money till today. But yeah, it was frustrating, the experience, because we were covering up how we could to meet like day-to-day things. And in all of this, we're still building a couple of other things. And at a point, we saw we couldn't scale the business. We built some other tools. I think when we're building that, we also built another thing for like birthdays. Businesses could just record their customer birthdays or share the link, their customer put in their birthday details. And then they're offering something to their customer on their birthday. So it automatically tells you, oh, you have A, B, C customers whose birthday is this week. It sends those ABC customers an SMS telling you, oh, you can come and claim ABC or XYZ at our store on your birthday. Maybe a free cake, a free this, right? And then on their birthday, it sends them like a custom birthday message typed out by the business. Yeah, that grew fast. It was growing very fast. And then D&D happened. So yeah, that's when Airtel and My Mobile started D&D. So we couldn't send bulk SMSs anymore. And that was a core part of our application. Emails were not a thing then because like we're just getting more, will I say, the average person now can maybe use TikTok. Then it was not exactly the case, right? It was elitist to be on Instagram then. Yeah. So that killed that business, right? But we're making a good amount of money. I think we got about 800 businesses in 10 days. And each of them on subscription of about 1,000 naira also. So that was growing fast. And then they were also still paying for the SMS. So we're not the ones paying for it. Yeah, so at a point we knew that things weren't scaling. And at the time, PiggyVest was rebuilding, right? Trying to prepare for scale. I think PiggyVest had about 400K plus users or so at the time. And then we're like, oh, you know what? I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's join this rebuild. So I worked with the team then, led by Somto, to rebuild. We built the new version, and I think we did almost 2.5x in user base in like 3 months. Right, so we went from about 400 to about 1 something million. So I came on board full time. We had conversations, yeah, came on board full time, and that was it for the person that asked how I got my gig. And I've been there since 2019. Yeah, since 2019 when I joined the team.
Awesome. So that's awesome. So goodness, your question has been answered. Great. Thanks a lot, OJ. Do we have questions for OJ? I think this is the time for you guys to maximize this session with OJ. So, Precious Fakbonda is asking, is this class only for product design? No, not only for product design. Maybe you heard only the point of product design when Praise was talking. So it's not only for product design. Anybody questions for OJ? Although I've already spoken to OJ ahead of time, so I mentioned it to every one of you. So I've had a conversation with OJ to also, support and providing mentoring to some members of our community, based, of course, on his availability. And so we'll be having him like once in a while. I've hooked him on that. So hopefully you guys can maximize that. But apart from that, generally, if you guys are here, you have questions, please go ahead and ask right now. Someone is asking, can I also land a gig at PiggyVest as a product designer? Goodness, I need a product designer now. PiggyVest is not recruiting when you can't do product design. Yeah, you're into community, except you want to start your journey from scratch. All right. So, do we have any further questions so I can release OJ? I had to hook him from a particular meeting, and he made it through to be here. Okay. So, Joy is asking, would you say switching careers within tech is pretty easy? OJ, do you want to answer that?
So I won't say it's easy, right? But I'll say having played different roles in tech, right, gives you a holistic picture, right? It prepares you for an even better role, right, where you understand things from different teams' point of view. So I won't say it's easy, right? It's definitely hard. I'm sure you may be going through a transition, right? But I think it's a process that is necessary to make you better for like the next stage, which is either maybe building stuff or whatever role. I think any role where you've had prior experience in different other roles, right, within tech, right, makes you see things from better angles and makes you, let's say, add more value to the company you're working at, even if it's yours, even better.
Okay, awesome. I think you have one more question here. This is from Paul. How did you overcome your challenges while learning? Because I'm finding it difficult as a beginner. Did you get that?
Okay, yes, I did. So, Paul, I think that's a hard one, right? Because I don't know the specific challenge you mean, but the most important thing I think is building. Is building a lot of stuff, right? Another thing is knowing that people who are in the field, right, they've faced these challenges, right? You can ask questions, right, or go online. The people that you're asking questions, either one experienced it or two, they found the answers online also, right? So I think the internet is a whole world, right? Where if you're asking the question here in Nigeria, somebody asks the question somewhere in India, all right, and somebody else answer their question in India, and you can pick that answer and use the answer, right? There's no local context. I think local context only applies to products and trying to build, let's say, more of the business side of it, right, or the usability side, and less around the maybe technical or soft skill, right? If there's a product marketing concept, right, the only thing that can affect it in Nigeria is how Nigerians think, right? Not that the concept is not valid, and you can tweak it and make it work for Nigerians too. Yeah. For example, or technical.
Awesome, awesome. Precious asking. Yes, it's recorded, so you'll definitely be reached out to. It's recorded. Um, does OJ still have any question there? I don't think there is. Um, Manuel Osubo, is there anything that we're missing out before I let OJ go?
No, I don't think so. I think we're pretty good on that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, OJ, for sharing.
All right.
Not much questions here for you. I think you've been able to cover from your story the basic things that need to be heard. Thank you so much. I'm really
Awesome.
grateful for making yourself
All right.
available on Wednesday. God bless you.
Thanks. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you. So I'll reach out to you.
Thank you, OJ.